Well, this is the first of today's 5 international finals. The last 2 editions of the women's fours won by Australia.
And a good start there, particularly by the Italians, but I would expect the crews in the centre of the course to edge out, even though we haven't seen them under full pressure. Australians and British showed well in the race. Little crab for the Australians there, and that's a surprise. I think the bow woman in the Australian, Phoebe Stanley, just crabbed, slowed their boat down, and that was their fast start gone. And instead of the Australians in the lead, I think it's Germany now, who did so well in Lucerne, that have edged their bows into the lead.
Indeed, this is a straight final, so they've had one race, but we don't really know the significance of that. But Germany going out there and trying to do what no German crew so far has done at this regatta, Martin, which is to win a gold medal.
Yeah, and how long is it since we've said that in any race? But Silke Günther, who at 30 is one of the oldest women in the race, she just can't make the German women's 8, although I think she's a world champion in an 8 from a previous year. But she's leading a crew of younger women and showing the style which German crews haven't yet showed on this lake so far in the World Championships this morning.
Indeed, she was a world champion, Martin, back in 2003 when she was part of the German 8 that took gold at the World Championships then. But this is a very tight affair. Silke Günther in picture there with Kirsten Naumann and then Nadine Schmutzler and Nina Wengert, the other 3 members of her crew, and that's a positive start by them, and they've got a decent advantage now coming to the end of the first quarter of this race. So Germany very much to the fore now, and coming through for second place Australia, United States, both with experienced women in both of their boats, and China just at the back of the pack now, but still the best part of 1,500 meters to go. The Americans who are chasing there, it's crew very much from the West Coast, 3 of them from California, the other Portia Johnson in the bow from Seattle, and Portia and Rachel Jeffers in the 2-seat, both bronze medalists a year ago. But there you can see the Australians, the defending champions, Vicky Roberts, their experienced stroke, a gold medal in the women's 4 for the past 2 editions of the World Championships, and they're just vying for 3rd place at the moment with the British on the far side. Yeah, I like that. I like the rhythm from the Australians, actually. It's nice and cool and calm and collected. It would be nice to see where they would be if it wasn't for that crab in the very first few strokes of the race. But no doubt that America is moving through, and I think there's a bit of a story in the stern pair of these. Megan Dirkmaat, the oldest woman in the race at 31, she actually taught the woman behind her, Rachel Jeffers, in high school, which is one reason why Rachel Jeffers took up rowing. So teacher-student combination in the stern of the American boat, and take them to move through in the middle part of this race. I suppose you could say with the Australians, if you're going to make a mistake, better to do it in the first quarter than the last quarter, as we saw sadly with Kim Bowe and Sarah Cook earlier on. And coming to the half distance now, and Germany still looking pretty solid out there. The advantage, though, about half a length over America. Then the defending champions Australia in 3rd place, and those 3 crews now beginning to open up clear water over Great Britain and China and also Italy. Yeah, it's going to be very tough for any of those 3 crews trailing Great Britain in 4th place to get back. That's a big gap, although Australia are sort of feeling the pace. I think they've really tried to compensate for that mistake early on in the second 500, and now in the 3rd 500 where the race hots up, it's the Americans. They're moving the quickest. Germany have gone out very fast, but the Americans are really moving through a nice rhythm, very powerful. None of these women sort of far off making the American women's 8, who are very strong here and close to winning a good Olympic medal, I think. Interesting there, you saw the indication, the boat speed there, and it showed that the Americans are just moving their boat just that little bit faster than Germany, and those 2 beginning to eye each other up now for a bit of a head-to-head duel between the United States and Germany, and that leaves Australia and Great Britain at the moment vying for the bronze medal. Great Britain on the far side, closest to in the foreground are Australia, and that's the way it's looking at the moment. A fight, 2 fights for the medals. Yeah, it's a great race actually in this 3rd 500 metres. I've got to say it's a well-timed
burst through that third 500 from the Americans. They've really just waited behind, let the Germans go out, and then they've really dominated the race where they wanted to in the third quarter. And so they're coming through, I think, with their bows in front with just 500 to go.
And America go into the lead, 1/4 of the race remaining now. Australia still in bronze medal, and you can see Great Britain, little chance, I'm afraid, for the British or indeed the Chinese or Italy to get back into this race. They're now racing for the highest possible ranking position. Australia now, with all the experience that they've got in the stern of their boat, and it is some experience. Vicky Roberts from Canberra and Emily Martin there with the two less experienced, Kathleen Gray and Phoebe Stanley, who are bronze medalists in the under-23 pairs. So it's good experience for them, but that crew is not able to compete, certainly with the Americans, and the Americans looking very impressive.
Yeah, they are very impressive, and I think they're moving away from Germany at this point, so they've had a quicker third 500, and at the moment it looks like they're even going to have a quicker last 500 than the Germans, and very sharp on. You can see those blades just going into the water just that little bit quicker than the Germans, certainly quicker than the Australians, and that's giving them the pace to head up now.
Yeah, and this is quite a heavy boat to move, so it's going to be really difficult for the Germans to counter-attack. They were almost 2 seconds slower than the Americans in that third quarter, and that's the significance, and that's the reason why the Americans are actually pulling this out to almost 3/4 of the length and going for a full length and possibly clear water. Australia solid in third. They're not going to be challenged for that position, but they'll be disappointed not to be closer to the front two crews. And America doing this now in some style now. Megan Dirkmatt, Rachel Jeffers, Erin Cafaro and Portia Johnson. That's the quartet coming towards the finish line now, and this is going to be a gold medal for America. They last won this in 2003. They've recaptured the title ahead of Germany. Australia, last year's champions, in third place, ahead of Great Britain, being chased down by the Chinese, who finish in 5th place, with Italy to cross the line in 6th. Well, very impressive by the Americans. That middle 1,000 was decisive. A second medal and the first goal for the United States, doing the damage in the middle 1,000 and much too strong for the opposition in the final quarter. A message that'll not be lost on their teammates in the 8, should they falter tomorrow.